Hi, thank you for watching this video. Today I would like to talk about the effective communication for database design. I will cover some basic database designs and backgrounds, and then I will show you how Visual Paradigm's new features Postmania to make your team communicate in more effective manner than the traditional email back and forth manner. Okay, let's start. Without questions, database design is important in all the software application projects. And more than 90% of today's applications are backed by the database. And not only the standalone applications or server applications, but also the application running in your smartphone, in your tablet. They are also with the database, but just a lightweight database that stores the data. So keeping the database design well organized can save a lot of resources in your team in development and further development. When talking about database design, the entity relationship diagrams will just come up in our minds. It is a classical, everybody know what it is. And just let me do very quick introductions in case you don't know what it is. The entity relationship diagram is an industrial standard for designing database. You can use the entity relationship diagram to show the entities, the tables in the database, like this is the card. You can also show the columns, what columns inside the tables, and also the relationship. For example, one farm will have multiple orders. You have a one, zero to many order relationships. So the entity relationship diagram is a very good visual form to showing the tables, columns, relationship between the tables. In the common software development team structures, we will have three roles or three types of the people involved in the software development projects. First of all, we will have some system analysts. The system analyst is used to collaborate with the end user to gather the requirements, to understand what user want. This is a problem space, and then do the design or architectures for how to deliver the software to fulfill the user wants. And this is a solution space. The system analyst may not touch the source code, do the programming directly, but they should understand what user want and have some ideas about how the software was built. Of course, we should have a team of developers to do the programming, do the deployments, do the testing, bug fixing, all the things. And also we will have a database designer or a database administrator. Sometimes they will be the same persons in the team, and they will be responsible for make sure the database is stable, make sure the database design is good. And it is important to have a specific role. Remember, role doesn't mean as persons. Maybe your team is not that big to need to have a specific person to take care of a database. But one or two persons in the development team should be responsible to look after the database design. Avoid everybody can touch, can modify, can generate the database. That may finally become the very problematic situations that you have so many duplicated columns, duplicated tables with the similar meanings, things like that. The database designer can guarantee the qualities of the database. Of course, you can draw the entity relationship diagram with pencil and paper, but you can't maintain it. You can't add the things, you can't reschedule, rearrange the things to make it look tidier. So I would like to introduce the Visual Paradigm for UML standard editions. The Visual Paradigm for UML standard editions support the ERD. You can design the database visually in desktop applications. And after you design the database, we can also generate the database schema or the data definition language, DDL, to help you to generate a database without manual procedures. It saves tremendous of time for the database designer and database administrators. Instead of generate the whole database every time, the WP UML standard editions also can generate the patch. The patch means if you already have the production database, have 100 tables, now you want to add few columns, add some relationship between these tables and columns. You can draw on the diagrams, and then the WP UML will generate the patch script for you. Then you can patch the production database. Again, you don't need to do it manually. Without the patch mechanism, you need to carefully record what you have doing in the diagrams and then apply to the production database. But with the WP UML, you can do it automatically. And also you can generate the Java code to access the database through the Hibernate framework. And since this video is focusing on design database, I will not drill down to too details about these things. So let's move on. Okay, let's move on to talk about the development lifecycle. I will show you a very simple and very common development lifecycle in the team. It may not 100% same as yours, but should be similar to it. First of all, the analysts, after gathering the requirements, they will do the system design. And of course, they will decide the database structures, a rough database structures with the tables and enough columns. And then he will pass the database to the designer, to the database designer. Then they will implement the database and deploy the database. Then to make it live for the development team can move on to do the programming. And then of course the developer will get into the context to start to develop the features, develop the functionalities, do the debugging, do the fine-tunings or things like that. But the database is not something that written on the stone. You may change the database structures in the future, even in the middle of the software development life cycles. For example, sometimes we will have some development considerations. And for example, you want to get the order price. Normally, we will not store the order price in the order table. We will do the calculation by order line to get the results, get the total cost, total price, and return to user. But for some performance considerations, we may not possible to do the computations for all the orders. Maybe we need to gathering millions of the order within few minutes. So in this case, maybe we will have a price column in the order table that we can just query one table to get the result. In this case, you may need to change the database structures. The change is different from the original design, but it should be doing like this because we need to fulfill what user want. So it's something that you may need to change the database in these situations. Or when you're developing a new features. When you're developing new features, the current database structures usually cannot accommodate the new requirements. In this case, we also need to change the database. Okay, let's zoom into the change database situations. And following story is happening quite often in most of the development team. Say John is a database designer, Mary is a developer. And Mary wants to add a column to a table for a certain purpose, just like the example I gave. Mary wants to add a price in the order table because of the performance requirements. Then Mary will send a add column request to John, usually by email or by send a message, or even talk to John face to face. And John make the change on the database and then generate the database and put it into the testing environment for Mary to do the development. And then he will reply Mary by email or messenger or something like that. Then Mary can move on to do the work. So it is a very traditional approach, and I would like to show you how the Visual Paradigm products can smooth these situations with the Visual Paradigm for UML and the VP server. Okay, let's go on to see the demonstrations. In order to show how John and Mary collaborate, I have prepared both persons' screens on the same computers. On the left-hand side, this is John's. He's running on a standard Windows look and feel. On the right-hand side is Mary. she is running a metallic look and feel. And both of them are focusing, looking at the database design. Let's focus on Mary. And now Mary look at the table. He find that she need add a column price in the invoice table. So instead of add it by herself directly and generate the database, she need to send a request to John, the database designer, to prepare for her. So what she can do is she focus to click on the invoice table and go to the team and open the Postmania topic pane, and then new topic, say add price column. And then she want to notify John, then I just notify John. And then please add price column for store the table, store the date price info. And this is regarding about the requirement XXX, something like that. And she posts the change. And after Mary posts the change, let's go to John's screen. Okay, let's go to John. And in John's screen, you see there is a number on the top. We can click on the team button to go to the Postmania page. And Postmania page, we see there's a Mary have a comment to me. Then I can add and click the buttons, and then you click, you see we will go to the invoice table directly, and Mary is on the request is on the right hand side. Then I can add the price for her, add the price. Then after add the price, I will do the database generation, deploy to the development environment, etc. And I will commit my change. I will say add price column, something like that. And then after I finish the commit, finish all the things, I will reply to Mary, say add the please update the source, something like that. Then I will post my comment. And okay, after that, let's go back to Mary. I assume Mary is doing other things. And after a while, Mary will got the reply from John's about she got the her request has been done, something like that. And you see there is a symbol showing on the team. I click. I can also go to the Postmania pane. I see John is replying me adding price column. Then I can click on it and see, okay, please update. Then I just run the update on the design and click update. Then I will see that the price column is still here. Then I can move on to my work. And the features I just saw is called Postmania. The Postmania is a social networking platform for software development. So the software developer can work on the same project and share their comments. They can post a comment to the design and focus on specific element or on the diagrams or anything, and he can notify certain persons. And then the responsible member will work on the request and reply to the user. And the best thing is all the decisions is kept along with the design. Just my example, Mary requests to add the column. Then later on we find that why we have a price column in the invoice table. There should be something wrong. Then you can click on it and see the pane, see, oh, because Mary requests to add the column in February 22 or something like that for the requirements of certain things. And you don't need to swap between the applications. You don't need to go to the mail and send an email and then check the email periodically, then reply, get the things messed up or something like that. To end the movie, I would like to tell you what software I have using today. For the client, I'm using the Visual Paradigm for UML standard editions. The VP UML provides the database design capabilities. You can also generate a database. And also the VP UML supports the UML 2.4 standard. And the license cost of the VP UML standard editions, you have two options. You can buy a perpetual license. You can use it forever. It's just $299 US per seat. Or you can do the subscriptions on the license. It's just $15 a month. The subscription license is especially useful for sometimes you have a short-term projects. You may increase the manpower in, say, half years. Then you don't need to buy a lot of license. You can just subscribe for half year to make sure you can make use of the resources effectively. And you can purchase the WP-UML by credit card, by check, or by wire transfer. You can check it out in our website, www.visual-paradigm.com shop and vpuml.jsp. And of course, we have the Serverside because we can collaborate. We're using the VP Server Corporate Editions. The VP Server Corporate Edition provides the social networking capabilities. You can keep everybody on the same page. And it also allows you to collaborate. Collaborate means different team members can access to the same projects. They can modify the projects, the same projects simultaneously at the same times. That they don't need to worry about stepping each other's change. Then they can make the change, commit the change to the server. And also the server keep all the change revisions just in case you make a mistake to delete something wrong, some things that you need. Then you can go back to certain revisions and get it back without losing anything. Of course, you can also compare the change to know what's wrong between certain revisions. And the license cost of the VP server, you can also buy the perpetuals. It is $2,999. You have a full license to run on your facility. Or you can run it as a cloud. It's just $39 with 10 gigabytes per month. And also you can purchase by credit card, check, and wire transfer. And since the price I'm talking about today cannot guarantee forever, but you can make sure this price should be same within 3 months from this video. For the latest price information, please go to our website to check it out. And thank you very much for watching this video and have a great day.